So when you get out there on stage, the biggest issue you have is even if they know who you are from the pamphlet, even if they've heard of you, their number one thinking they're thinking is, who are you? So you're either going to put it in their head or they're going to make it up. So what I do when I first get on stage is, this is a simple line anybody can use. So how do you talk about 20 years of business successes and failures if you only have 30 minutes? Where do you begin?
What is, everybody? It's your host again, Brad Blazer. I'm here on Beast Nation, and today I bring you somebody of interest. Now, I met this dude at a event where he was a speaker, I was a speaker. We were both sharing the stage, and this guy is what I call the real deal. As most of you out there know, I am the guy bringing you the knowledge. Call me Robin Hood, call me whatever the hell you want, but I am the guy that takes knowledge from those that have it, and I redistribute it from those that don't. This guy is the founder and president of a company out in Arizona called the Human Communications Institute. And he has actually created something called human interaction technology. I want to know more about that. But I am welcoming the one and only Mr. Michael Bernoff. Mike, welcome to the show, man.
All right, Brad, I'm thrilled to be here, and I love it. Now, you mentioned HIT, and I figured we could talk about that. I'll be super excited.
I do my homework, man. Like I said, I try to do my homework. I don't want to just get you on here and shoot the shit. I want to talk about stuff that's going to actually help people.
Yeah, stuff that matters.
Stuff that matters, absolutely. So give me some light. Give me some flavor on your background. You know, you're a speaker. You're a coach. Yep. I obviously have seen you on the stage. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
But how did you get in to the business of doing what the fuck you do? How did you start?
I like it. Yeah, well put. So like anything in life and business, it was, I don't want to say an accident, but there's never a straight path. So went to college and found out you can't be an entrepreneur in school. So I was in direct sales at a young age. And my parents always told me, like, work hard, be a good person. Really, really good advice, except for as a business owner. Like, the be a good person part makes sense, but I busted my ass. I worked really hard. And it was a class I had in junior college. I got to find this professor. Changed my life. I'm going to say I selectively kind of failed out of ASU for a semester with my grades or like probation. And I went to a junior college. And it's funny, while I'm at junior college, they didn't let me in the business school at ASU, Arizona State. I took a business class and they gave a list of books and they said, read one of these. And there was Karl Marx, there was everything. And one of them was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I get the book and I read it and picture, 19 years old, single guy, going to college, how to influence people. Like, this is amazing. And I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my God, you could actually get better at things. So I realized that I could learn to get better. I found personal development. And for years, I enhanced my business. I graduated from school, got a business going. And then after a while, I recognized, I'm like, wait a second, nobody's teaching this stuff to the masses. This is pre-Facebook, pre-Instagram, pre-everything. And I said, these are things I've understood my whole life. How do I help other people with this? So I just figured I dedicated my life to making a difference in other people's lives and teaching them things they didn't know that their parents never taught them. And we've made a large business out of it, changing the world of other people's lives.
I love
That's the short side of the story.
I love it. So obviously the book of, changing people's lives and obviously influence people. You're 19 years old. You're reading the book. Did it help you influence the ladies?
It got me to realize that you have to, in a conversation. Yeah, it got me to realize 100% that if you're talking with somebody, they matter to them more matter than you matter to them. So even just the simplicity of using somebody's name, like techniques of caring about other people, showing that it matters, and the idea that a human being can influence another person's decision. You can't manipulate them, but you can, if they ever wanted to do something, lean them in a direction. And in sales and business, it's huge.
I love it. It's funny. I always tell people, my grandfather taught me one thing that I live by. And that was, people will forget your name. They'll forget what the hell you do for a living, but they will never forget the way you make them feel.
100%.
And you hit it right on. And I think that deserves a little bit of a roar right there. Now, well, talk to me a little bit about this thing called the human interaction technology that you've actually trademarked, which is your innovative teaching method. How does that work, and what's that all about?
So I'm a big proponent of this. We have this company, we've got a building, we have a training center, and everything that we do is based on that your future hinges on your ability to effectively communicate. And what that really means is that everything you do comes down to your own influence. So what HIT is all about, it's the best of the best of human communication on how to influence yourself and the world around you to start getting what it is that you want. So for me, one of the biggest takeaways that I've recognized is most people, they don't recognize the power of their own influence and how much they have. So HIT is about how I communicate with you to impact your unconscious mind, how you feel in our relationship. Also, how you relate to everything else in your life, whether it's something you eat, to your past, to your communication. So like, part of communicating is you and I getting along, going out to dinner, meeting. I know we met in Napa, like getting along, hanging out. The other half of the communication is how do I code that inside of my brain? How does somebody code buying, making buying decisions? How does somebody code their relationship with you? How do they relate with themselves when it comes to food or nutrition or health or anything else? So what HIT is really simply that, how humans interact with themselves in a way that's most effective. So we've been certifying and teaching that for almost 10 years. And I'd say it's the most advanced techniques in neuro-linguistic programming, transformational psychology, transactional analysis, hypnotic language patterns, any voodoo that involves around a human being impacting their life, we do faster, quicker, more impactful, and more an effective way. That is what HIT is.
Man, I'm going to have to give you a new name. We're going to call you the Yoda of human performance.
I like it. That's the way we do it. I like it. Yoda. I'll take it. You got Yoda back there. Yep, Yoda.
Yeah, see it, man. You're getting inside my head. You're scaring me a little bit with this.
You like being scared?
Well, the psychology shit, getting in my mind. And, I always feel when I'm around salespeople, if they're really fucking good, it's like, man, you're using my mind against me. But, you and I know that good salespeople are the easiest people to sell, right?
Are they using it against you, or are they bringing things to the forefront that are important to see?
Well, I think a little bit of both. I think that they understand the psychology of selling, and they understand how to lead people, obviously, down a path with questions. And they understand how to isolate objections and do all those things that we teach in closing school and Mega Producer. Yep. But, one thing I think that's really important is you touched upon something there that I think I want to unpack a little bit, and that is the difference between external communication, which is what you and I are doing now, which is, we're talking to each other, we're buds, we've met before, we've shared beers, but there's also the internal communication that a lot of people overlook, and that really, to me, is the more important communication, because that's how you talk to yourself.
Yep.
And so talk to me a little bit about the internal communication strategies that you teach people.
There's a couple of pieces of this puzzle. Let's not confuse anything. There's the self-talk, there's the Norman Vincent Peale, be nice to yourself. And then there's literal accepting the responsibility of your own language that you use to code what it is that you do. So I'm going to leave positive thinking and being kind to yourself and motivating yourself just over here for a minute. And I'm going to talk about something like right in between communicating with others and communicating with yourself. Like everything that happens to you is an event that gets labeled, that has emotions attached, that eventually you put meaning on, that eventually create results in your life and creates a response. Yep. There's no way around that. So I'll give you an example. Have you ever drank a shake before?
Drink a shake?
Yeah, like, like James Bond, but make a shake, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I always tell everyone you shouldn't drink shakes because the biggest reason you shouldn't drink it, and I said this in front of a group of people that sell shakes, and they freaked out. And what I meant by that is you should consume them, but you shouldn't drink them, because when you drink a shake, it goes straight out down your mouth, all the way down to your stomach, and it sits there. What you need to do is chew a shake. Most people don't realize when you chew it, it actually sends, because we're not supposed to drink protein. We're supposed to chew protein. What happens is your brain, when you go like this, it sends mechanical stimuli to your brain to send enzymes to your stomach of how to break it down. Why I mention that is all human beings, when they go out to dinner, like we ate at that little place in Napa, and what happens is all people call all food food. They call it a food. And the reason they call it food is they're just being lazy. They don't recognize there are varieties to food. So how I communicate with myself is by simply changing my language patterns. This little hack that I'm going to share with you, you do this, your viewers do this, your listeners do this. You could lose 10 pounds if you needed to in the next 3 weeks by not even changing your diet, by doing this.
Love it. Share with me, buddy. Now, I don't need to lose weight, but I know a lot of my listeners do.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is you might even change your diet. So number one is accept that all food is not food. There's 3 varieties of food: nutrition, entertainment, and addiction. Now, the reason I say that is when you eat broccoli or something you created yourself, or intelligent proteins, the second you go to a restaurant, it's not nutrition anymore. They are designed to sell food poisoning, whatever the hell they could put on it to make it taste good, make you want more. That's the business they're in, even the healthiest places. So there's nutrition is a salad without dressing. It's intelligent proteins, no sauces, nothing. Then there's entertainment, which there's nothing wrong with. A little bit of pizza, some popcorn, go to the movie theater with your family, have some popcorn, entertainment. Go back for a refill, it's addiction. So by instantly communicating with yourself, what am I actually eating? I always say, like food, it's a relationship. You're going to put it inside of you for a long period of time. You might as well know what name it is, where it's from, what its intentions are with you. It's like dating, right? What's your name? Where you're from? What are your intentions? So by changing your perception that nutrition, entertainment, addiction, and just saying, okay, great, I'm about to have entertainment, and being honest with yourself. You know what? I'm going to eat the whole bag of Doritos. Addiction. By doing that, it changes the mentality of your brain. And then after a while, your brain's like, you know what? I've had entertainment for the last 2 days. I think it's time for some nutrition. And if you also ask yourself, how do I feel prior and post what it is I just did? That little communication with you has the ability to change your neurology about what just happened. Because if you call it all food and you don't understand what just happened, you're an idiot. And that's what most people are. They're not intelligent because they're not using language to dominate things. So that is a simple twist that most people don't do with themselves.
I love it. Now, in doing that, would you call that a trigger? Would you call that something subliminal?
I would call it effective labeling. I would just like how many times you heard people say, I'm going to cold call?
Yeah. Right.
What is it attached to? Pain, torture? I'm like, go outside. It's warm out. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you're going to cold call? Like, why even call it that? Like, I don't work out. I train. Why the hell do you want to cold call? How about I'm going to go connect with some people? How about I'm going to go get better with people? How about, oh man, business is hard. Is business hard, or you haven't figured it out yet? Being able to language things appropriately is like which neural pathway you're going to use. Difficult as hell or easy. I like easy.
I agree 100%. I love easy. I'd rather use the law of attraction and have people call me wanting to learn more about my products, my goods, and my services than fucking cold calling all day long. And
yes,
you know, my view on things like that is when you cold call somebody, what is the natural instinctive response? Is, you know, they're going to run in the other direction, right?
Yes.
People don't want to be approached. They don't want to be cold called. But people take an interest and you elevate yourself. So you're a person of interest. You're using that law of attraction. People approach you. They're like, Michael, man, I saw you talk at closing, but I want to know what the hell you do, how I can bond with you, learn more about what you guys do. They're at the Human Communications Institute. That's a much easier, better call to be taking any day of the week.
100%.
You know, it's interesting because I tell the people I work with that I'm a firm believer in positive affirmations. I think
as you should be.
Important words in the human language are actually 2 of the smallest, and those are the words I am, because the words that you choose to follow, those define you when you walk out the door every day. But, you know, for a guy that went to school and, you know, like you said earlier, you know, really wasn't the best student, how did you get the knowledge to implement all of this stuff that you now understand? Was it just self-discovery, kind of working on yourself? Was it just reading and getting interested in that? What was the big, what I call revelation, the aha moment that you have something you can share with other people that most other people don't have? Where was that big aha moment for you?
Yeah, two biggest things for me is, one is recognizing that you can get better, that you're not destined to, like, I have the concept average sucks. Like, you're not destined to the way you grew up. Like, I grew up middle class. I always tell that story. Steve Jobs wasn't my dad, and I didn't grow up homeless. I grew up in this, like, you don't know you have a problem if everyone around you is identical. It's like an alcoholic household. Like, if you grow up as an alcoholic, everyone's an alcoholic, right? So I grew up middle class, which means I had enough and I didn't need to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could survive. So the idea that I could have more was the first step I took in my life. Like, realizing I could have more was a big thing. And then also probably the hardest realization that changed my life is accepting I'm not where I want to be. So when I did that, by believing I could educate myself better, that's one of the things I talked to Chris Voss about this, the negotiation guy. And Chris said basically like, he said, the only people we can help are ones that believe they can educate themselves to a better version of themselves. And I truly believe that there is a book, an audio, a person, or somebody out there that has the answer that I need. And if I haven't met them, I'll find them. So that has been my thing. I want to be that beacon for people. And I've done the research. I think I've read 2,000 to 3,000 books in my life. I haven't finished them all, but I've gotten stuff from every one of them. And I've dedicated my life to enhancing my thinking patterns. I don't know if that answers your question, but that answers a question.
No, it does. And I want to unpack that a little bit more because I just finished a great book. If it's not on your shelf, it needs to be. And that, of course, is Jack Welch. Jack Welch, obviously visionary, CEO, chairman, obviously, of GE, has a great book up here on my shelf called Winning.
I love winning.
And he says that, there's millions of people out there raising their hands asking for help. Help me make more. Help me be more successful. Help me be in a better relationship. And I firmly believe that the purpose of people like you and me, coaches and trainers, is really to kind of be that beacon of light. It's almost like being a freaking lighthouse, right?
Yep.
Is we have the knowledge and we have the skills to get people to a higher place in their life, but it really gets back to the desire. I tell people, look, if you're not going to do the things I ask you to do, don't hire me as a coach. I'm not moving. I'm not going to move in with you and be your damn roommate. You've got to have the desire to transform and change, because I believe, and you said this, is that it's much better to be on the outside of the frame looking in than it is to be on the inside of the frame looking out. A lot of times I believe people don't see the potential within them. And that, I believe, is the job of a good coach. It's really to nurture the potential that you see in somebody that they don't see in themselves. So they're willing to work a little harder. They're willing to put forth a little bit more effort. They're willing to utilize that muscle memory to change those habits to become a better person. And that gets back really to what you said earlier. It's understanding the difference between those three types of food. And I love that. It's basically the nutrition, the entertainment, and then, of course, the addiction. When you said earlier that you got to a point where you grew up middle class and then you realized I can actually have more. That for me is huge, because one of the things that I do in my corporate training with my corporate clients is I go in and I train salespeople. And I'm working with a guy in San Diego. He said, I feel that my sales team is spending too much time on operational crap. They need to be selling more. They need to be closing more. And I believe that in most people in sales, and really in most people in general, there's something that I call prey drive. Now, prey drive is the ability to see something in your mind and then optically go get it, chase it down, have the tenacity, the perseverance. Most salespeople don't have this. That's why they suck at closing. It's because most of their needs are met. They become complacent. They become lazy. They don't have that drive. And what I found in interviewing hugely successful people that make millions of dollars, is their clock resets every day. Because one of the things that triggers prey drive in people is the fear of loss. If you're worth 10 million freaking dollars and man, you're hustling and you're grinding, you know that what took years to build can be torn down in just a matter of months, if not minutes, right? And so you're hustling every day because the fear of losing the lifestyle you've accumulated is there. It's live every day. And so every day when the clock strikes midnight, man, it resets to zero. And you wake up the next morning realizing, man, I got to go out there and I got to hustle. Most people don't have that. How do you, as somebody that understands that external and internal communication, take a guy that's in sales that says, yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm making my $200,000-$300,000 a year. I'd love to make $1 million. I don't know how to do it. How do you take somebody and coach them, Mike, to the point where they can see it and then actually go out and work to make it happen?
Got it. Okay. So this is going to be a longer answer, and this is the basis of my entire book and everything that I do. And the answer to what I felt my biggest challenge in my life, what my biggest holdup in my life was for years, is that I truly believe human beings, if I were just to describe this with my hands right now, we get to a point in our lives where we say never again. I will never make under 100 grand again. I will never settle for a relationship like that again. And we freaking mean it. I will never overeat like that again. I will never drink again. And we're like, I will never be treated like that again. And we put this freaking wall behind us. And we're like, shoo, never again. And at that same moment, your brain is like, okay, if we're not going there, what do we really want? And we build this beautiful vision in front of us of what we want. Ferraris, beach houses, bikini models, sexy guys, whatever it is in front of us of this thing we're going to get one day. So look at this. We got what I don't want, what I do want. And it sounds like a dinner conversation. Bitching, complaining, wishing and hoping. Bitching, complaining, wishing and hoping. And to your brain, your unconscious mind truly wants to believe you. So you build this wall of an identity over here, like, who am I? So when you wake up in the morning, your life is easy. Because remember, your unconscious mind wants your life to be easy. No one wants the shit to be hard. Right. Your brain wants it to be easy. So who am I? I'm a guy that wants this and doesn't want that. Wants this, doesn't want that. And then you build this last wall of relationships. People in your life, enough of them cheering you on. We love them, our grandmas and stuff, cheering us on. Enough people to piss us off to prove that we can do it. A few people to make us angry, and a couple people to remind us to stay safe. And we live inside of this box, which I call your average, which is this gravitational pull we have as human beings. The reason someone doesn't buy from you is their average is they don't buy from you. The reason you bench press 225 and not 265 is your average is 225. So this person's, Tony called it the thermometer back in the day, we have this gravitational pull to get back to where we were. So what we have to do is we have to ask ourselves a question. Do we want that thing, or are we going to actually work on getting it? Because the wanting of it, the turn on of it, our minds know. I mean, this is sad. I call it Super Bowl Sunday effect or Super Bowl Tuesday. Is like after you win the Super Bowl, dreaming about it for 25 years was more exciting than actually winning it. It always is. Because thinking about it is the dopamine rush. Getting it, now your brain's like, what else do I have to do? So what I do when I work with people is really figure out is, are you okay with having what you want? What changes in your relationships and the way you see yourself if you actually had that? And start having really difficult conversations, because we are predestined to be who it is that we are every day. And here's the cool part, Brad, you don't have to work hard to be you. You could sit on your ass for 9 months, do nothing, veg out, and in the last 3 months of the year, you'll fix your health, you'll make your money, you'll catch up, you'll do whatever, because you're designed to make what you make and have what you have. So what I do is I work with people on this concept of rearranging your identity to see yourself as a person to actually have it, develop the relationships you need, and to live over the wall instead of inside of it. So that's a metaphoric explanation of your answer.
I love it. No, I mean, you unpack that so beautifully. And I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, now, one of the things I want to ask you is I watched one of your podcasts,
okay,
or one of your, I guess, speaking reels, and you were out in front of a room and you asked the audience, how many of you here, want to lose weight? And a bunch of hands, of course, went up. And there was a woman that you kind of went up and approached, and you kind of were starting to interact with her and talking to her. And you basically, I won't say became confrontational, but you just, at the time, said you actually—
I call it confrontational.
Yeah, you enjoy being overweight. Yeah. And then, she argued, no, I really want to lose weight. No, you enjoy being overweight. And there was kind of a dialogue around that, which I was kind of chuckling internally as I was watching that. But can you kind of unpack that and how people are like, oh, I want to go on a diet and I want to lose weight and I want to get fit. But at the end of the day, they're still overweight. And you hit a home run with that message, I think, to that audience in that speaking engagement, because at the end of the day, I got it, but most people don't.
Yeah, I get it. So bottom line is, everything you do, you want to be doing, even if you don't like that you're doing it. The alcoholic wants to be drinking, even if they say they don't. They'd like to stop, but they're not good at stopping. So you got to remember, like I remember from Jim Rohn, one of my mentors always said, I got a Jim picture up there, always said, liars lie because that's what they do. And overweight people are overweight because that's what they do. And broke people are broke because that's what they do. So I truly believe there's no greater indicator of who you are than your current behavior. You're not destined to be that, but that is who you currently are. Does that answer it?
That's a great point. Absolutely.
So to go from there is why I'm confrontational with it is I want to challenge their belief, how much they're willing to fight for it. So we are excited enough about wanting things versus changing things. And the reason is, I remember hearing this study years ago. It was this Montreal study. They hooked up like this guy to EKGs, and they like asked questions. Like they hooked him up, like talk about sex, talk about this, talk about your kids, talk about change. And they talked about change, and they had like all these sheets, like what the like little lines looked like. Change was identical to torture. So being waterboarded and physically changing a habit have the exact equal stimuli because it's the death of an identity. So let's just say a lady loses weight. She's skinny the next day. What are you going to bitch and complain about? What are you going to do all day? You've been bitching, complaining, and whining for 20 years. You're skinny tomorrow. Like, let's just say that you're one of your clients puts 10 million bucks in the bank tomorrow. What are they going to do all day? It's like what are you going to do? It's so confusing. You're addicted to being a hustler.
Yep.
You're not addicted to being a guy that makes business easy for yourself.
I love it. That's a great message. Great message. Now talk to me about some of the, I guess, products, you will, that you offer. You've got something called the Business Success GPS, another thing called the Rapid Presentation Mastery Program, call to action. Share with my listeners a little bit about what each of those products are. So if they want to seek you out, they kind of have some background on how you can help them.
Yeah, I'd love that. And if this is out when my book's out, definitely check averagesucks.com. If this is released when my book is coming out ASAP, get a hold of that immediately. That's going to help you with what I just talked about. It's a necessity. Call to action is where it all begins. I always tell everyone it's easier for me to help you in business if you know how to take action. So what's nice about it is, like, I've been around the personal development industry forever. You and I got on a plane. We flew from our homes. We go to Napa. We drive we don't go to Napa. We drive from Oakland up or whatever it is for an hour. We can do that. Not everybody can. Call to action is a program we developed almost 20 years ago. It's over the phone, and it's interactive, and it does one very specific thing. Guarantees you'll get more done in 5 days than you have in 5 months, introducing you to what motivates you, what gets you going, getting out of your comfort zone, and making your life work right. So how I was confrontational with that lady, you get myself and our team for 5 days, shaking you up from the comfort of your home, intimately, old school, on a phone. Do you know what I'm saying? Yep. Or a computer, you and I working together. And for a few $100, it's like the biggest no-brainer in the world for anyone, anybody watching this right now. You can check that out at callwithmichael.com. I think there's even a discount on there if it's something you want. Callwithmichael.com. I think it's like $600. It's down to like $300 or $400.
It's a bargain.
Biggest. I mean, I'm $25,000 for in that room downstairs. Spend 6 hours with me. This is a couple of bucks to work with me. Business Success GPS. We developed that a few years ago. It's just to keep you on track. So even when they're working with you and your client, or they're working with Welsh, they're working with this guy, that guy, you're just like, you're a gym owner, whatever it is you do. For a few bucks a month, I give you one little idea or two ideas that I think it's like $39 a month, and it comes with 60 hours of past material on little ideas to keep you focused that are guaranteed to put in about $3,000 to $10,000 a year at a minimum back into your pocket by just teaching you influence techniques, marketing ideas. And I get on really crazy people, like my friend that started Comic-Con. If you can interview a guy that started a movement and he taught step by step how he did it, it's in there. It's crazy. And the presentation master, if you present, it's how to literally break down presentations in a way that are not going to get you applause. What they are going to get you is results. And people are going to walk up to you and say, how do I get started? What do I do next? I like what you said. You moved me. Let's go change the world. If you want applause, go to Toastmasters. If you want to impact your business, Rapid Presentation Mastery. If you want to leave a crowd spellbound at a wedding, RPM is designed to do that. So in a matter of 30 seconds, you can walk into any room. Like that speech you heard me do, I've done stuff like that before, but I didn't plan that. I literally got up there, looked at the audience, used the RPM technique, crushed it. I was supposed to speak for 30 minutes. I spoke for almost 90 because they loved it. And that's what RPM does. So I'd love to, if you're interested in that, reach out. We can definitely help you with that.
So RPM, is it more the words you choose to use, or is it a little bit of psychology in there to get the people to be led in a direction, or a little bit of both?
So it's like 40 hours of stuff. Give big tip. If you only take this, don't even need to buy the product. So the first couple seconds you have are integral, right? Do you know what everyone asks you every morning, even your husband or wife, if you've been married for 50 years? Do you know the number one question that all human beings ask 24/7, 7 days a week? Do you know what it is?
I don't want to misguess, so I'm going to say no, I don't. I'm waiting for you
Okay.
to drop the bomb and tell me.
So here's the number one thing people ask. Who are you? 24/7. I turn away, I come back, I go, who are you? Oh, Brad, I remember from California,
Sure.
and we talked and we're friends. You see your wife in the morning, your husband, who are you? So when you get out there on stage, the biggest issue you have is even if they know who you are from the pamphlet, even if they've heard of you, their number one thinking they're thinking is who are you? So you're either going to put it in their head or they're going to make it up. So what I do when I first get on stage is, this is a simple line anybody can use. So how do you talk about 20 years of business successes and failures if you only have 30 minutes? Where do you begin? What do you know about me when I say that, even if you've never met me? What do you know about me? What are you presupposing?
Yeah.
What's that?
A long time.
And you also, that, which means I'm probably what?
Pretty successful.
I didn't tell you that. You put that together.
Right.
I could show up late to a meeting and go, forgive me being late. And this is true. It's happened to me before. I was finishing with a past client. I have a set of rules that says finish what you started and always follow through. So if we have to go 10 minutes over, I'll do that. What you know is I'm a man of integrity. So the key is, what light do you want people to see you in? So the entire program is designed. There's 3 reels in life. There's the audio, there's the video, and then there's the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the emotional storyline. How do you want them to feel through the story you're telling that they're hearing and seeing? So the question is, how do you want to be seen? I'm the guy that didn't know how, that figured it out. I'm the person like used to be like you, that I'm not like you. I've suffered, now I don't. So understanding that before you walk in is more important than your pitch.
I would agree. So tell us about average sucks.
Yes.
Average does suck. It ain't okay to be okay.
No.
Okay is mediocrity, and that sucks.
So the average sucks is a movement that we have. We have a podcast, we have a community, we've got the book coming out.
Should we do a mastermind about sucks?
Yeah, it should be. The whole point of everything we do is this. I get stopped. We probably have 20, 30,000 of these out in the world. And if anyone's interested, just reach out. We'll show you how to get one. They're the greatest prospecting tools because people stop you. Who stops you? High quality people. Yep. And people walk up to me all the time and they go, man, I like your shirt. You pro athletes, everything. Average does suck. I'm above average. And I always say, do you know what it means? Yeah, be better than everyone else. I said, no. What it really means is your average will never make you happy. Because if you only do your average, what you do regularly, you will always be miserable. So what average sucks means is a guy came up to me probably 15 years ago and says, how tall are you? And I'm 6'6".
Yep.
He tapped me and he goes, how tall are you? And I'm 6'6". He goes, why don't you start acting like it? You play like a 5'6" guy. I said, whoa. And I got it. And I recognized that day the importance of that conversation. Are you being all that you can be? Or are you being a piece of yourself? And if you're only being a piece of yourself, you're being average, and average sucks. Wow. So the book is about, it's not what you thought it was, is it?
No, it's not.
About destroying your average. Like the opening chapters of the book, I played hockey my whole life. I'm a New Jersey guy. Grandpa's from Canada, played hockey, right? My whole life, I believe that I'm a big guy that hits people, that plays defense. And I convinced myself I don't score goals. 40 years old, playing in a men's league, still don't score goals. I'm capable and how to shoot the puck. I'm decent enough. And then I asked myself, like, what do goal scorers do? They put the puck behind the goalie. What am I doing? Shooting the puck. Wait a second. Why didn't I do what they do? It took me a shift or two. And now I average about 1 to 3 goals about 2 on average, every game I play. And the reason why I do that is because Michael Bernoff's identity now is a goal scorer. For years, it wasn't my identity. My old average sucks. And guess what? I still need a new one now. So average sucks is, to answer the question, if you're stuck in life, you'll get unstuck.
You know, I want to share with the listeners a great YouTube video that hits home. And it's one of the best videos. This really changed my life dramatically when I saw it. Have you ever seen Matthew McConaughey's Academy Awards acceptance speech? Where he
Loved it. Loved it.
You know, he's thanking 3 people. The first person, of course, is God, because he's a very spiritual person. The second, of course, was Camellia, his wife, and his family. And then he said, most people are not going to guess the third. He looks out to Brad Pitt, and he looks out to Jack Nicholson. He looks out to Tom Cruise, and he says, none of you get it. The third person I want to thank is myself, because every day as an actor, I get up and I want to be a better person, a better version of myself. And I said, God, man, I love that. And that hits home with average sucks. He doesn't want to be average. He wants to be the best freaking actor out there. which is why he's winning all these damn Academy Awards.
And he's capable of it.
And he's capable of it. And the thing that I love is that everybody's capable of it. It's just like you said, it's the internal communication you have to have with yourself. Do you want to be average? Or do you want to consistently be working on becoming a better version of yourself so that every day you're improving, you're transforming, you're making more money, you're in better relationships, you're not average, And I use the analogy because I'm a big athlete, I'm a triathlete, is that every day I'm looking for a new PR. If I go out tomorrow and I run 10 miles, the next day I want to go do 11. I'm constantly challenging myself.
Love it.
Getting on the bike every day, and I go out and I'll do a 40-mile ride and I'll time myself. I get the GPS. Next time I go out, man, I want to do it a little bit faster, a little bit better. And it's just that message. It's always becoming a better version of yourself so that you're constantly moving yourself to a higher place. You're constantly elevating yourself in your career, your earnings, etc. Always being hungry. That's something I learned from Bradley and Grant Cardone and some of these other great people that I've connected with and interviewed or met in person. So let me ask you the $1 million question. I can sense my people love you. You've dropped some great knowledge. You've teached everybody that average sucks and they don't want to be average. Most of my listeners are beasts. That's why they listen. How can people find you? Where do they need to go?
You go to michaelbernoff.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, find me. You can reach out. I was going to give everybody, if they're interested, you like this training, I'll give you another thing on how to create momentum in your life. Super powerful. You'd send a text to 480-800-8051. I'll repeat it, 480-800-8051. Text the word momentum, because that's really what it's about, is developing momentum. And then have the courage, man. I say this a lot. Like Stedman Graham, Oprah's guy, said this one statement once to me. We were out to dinner, and you know what he said? He said, it's crazy. He said, don't do what you did yesterday. You've already done that, and it's been done already. Do something more, do something different. So at the end of life, you can put your tombstone out, and this is my little term, that says all used up. So I'm just telling you, live your life, do your thing, and reach out if you're serious. Pick up one of those programs you mentioned. Start with call to action. Text me. Get the book. But you're not here by accident. You didn't show up, meet Brad by accident. I'm excited to help. And if in any way I can help you get what you want and remove some of the things in your life that could be holding you back, that's my purpose on earth.
Now, the book, when is that out? Is that out in a couple
25th
weeks?
of February. So I don't know when this goes, but 25th of February. That book is Amazon.com. You'll be able to find it at airports. It's going to be all over the place.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it. Can they pre-order the book on your website?
I think you can pre-order the Kindle, the physical book, the hard copy. We put a lot into the hard copy. So the answer is no. And I think the publisher has us doing that for a reason.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
yeah. So put a thing in your calendar to wake up in the morning on the 25th to be one of the first people to get the book, and get a few copies too, because it's a great thing it's a marketing piece, and it's something to talk about with those you care about, because nobody wants average friends. I'd get 3 or 4 copies, because you could then hand it to someone and go, hey dude, let's do this together. Yep. Because being average sucks.
I love it.
If you're going to grow, you better hope they grow. If not, you're going to outgrow them.
There you go. There you go. Well, Mike, you've been a great guest. You've shared a lot of great content. You definitely deserve multiple roars on this one. It's been great, and look forward to seeing you again. I think you and I are going to be at War Room here in a couple months, out in
April.
Vegas. You can do about 700-800 people, transforming lives and bringing some great knowledge to everybody.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being on Beast Nation today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.